we approach people's lives from diet, lifestyle, and herbs to help balance people and their daily living, their daily lives, to help manage that stress. That's probably one of the more, especially in contemporary terms, one of the main focuses is reducing stress. So when I hear about people having a lot of stress-related issues where work is concerned, people don't have the choice to just not work. You have to work, and you have to manage that stress in a way that's not impacting your health. So how do we do that in Ayurveda? We approach it initially with diet and lifestyle. So in terms of lifestyle, it's pretty straightforward. You want to be making sure that you get plenty of rest, the same kind of rest, so making sure you're getting up with the sun and you're going to bed with the sun. Not being up all night, giving yourself time to wind down at night, so making sure that all the electronic media is off at, right around 9 p.m. and then starting that process of winding down and getting into bed by, between 10 and 11 o'clock. Now, these times vary by Vata, Pitta, or Kapha, but generally speaking, you want to be up with the sun and down with the sun. In terms of diet, one of the things that we really emphasize is making sure that you eat meals at the same time every day. And most importantly, eating your largest meal in the middle of the day, because that is when your digestive fire is at its strongest. And so you want to be having your biggest meal, and you want to be adding either some digestive spice. You can add a takra at the end of your meal with some digestive spice. A takra is a tablespoon or two of yogurt or buttermilk mixed with water. And you can add some digestive spice to that, and that gives you your probiotic as well as your digestive spices. Making sure that those meals are same time every day. And you don't want to be skipping your meals because that just pushes that stress level up again. Your body needs to know it's going to get fed. And when you're not fed, it's stressful. So if you can manage those things, then we move on to managing stress on a more subtle level. We work with people in terms of breath practice. Very basic breath practices, deep relaxation, yoga, are all very useful things to help bring that stress level down. And we can also approach stress from the herbal aspect. Depending on the client's proclivity in terms of Vata, Pitta, or Kapha, we can use herbs to help reduce stress as well.
Great. Is there any sort of kind of instant, whether it's a pressure point, whether it's a breathing exercise that people can do at home to kind of, manually bring down that stress?
Sure. I would love to be able to teach people the crocodile pose. If anybody else out there knows the crocodile pose, that's an excellent way to begin understanding the breath process and strengthening what is most important in the breath process, which is strengthening the diaphragm. However, really taking 2 minutes out of your day just to sit quietly with your breath can reduce stress dramatically. No outside media, no phone sitting next to you, having a private space for just 2 minutes just to connect with that breath can be very grounding and stress reducing. Yoga and Ayurveda, kind of connect in that way where we do have breath practices. You want to start first by understanding where the diaphragmatic breath resides. You want to understand the difference between chest breathing, which is that panicked breathing or flight or fight response, which people tend to be in a chronic state of because of the stress level that they're in, and a diaphragmatic breath, which is a more relaxed state of the breath. And so to do that, you just place one hand over the chest and one hand just under the rib cage, and you just observe. You just observe where the breath resides. Does it reside in the chest or in the abdomen? And then gradually, as the body begins to be comfortable and relaxed, the breath will naturally become diaphragmatic. That takes time. That takes practice. Often, yoga really helps because it will strengthen there are certain exercises or certain asanas that will strengthen the diaphragm specifically and increase awareness around the diaphragm, so that your own awareness, where you can connect with the breath, increases. But eventually what you want to be able to do is to increase that awareness, so that when you are in that stressful situation, you can connect with that diaphragmatic breath automatically. And that does take daily practice. And so it begins with that, just sitting quietly 2 minutes a day, connecting with the breath, observing where does the breath reside. And when you get used to kind of where you're at and allowing the breath to be diaphragmatic, then you can start working on some of those progressive breath practices that can help you achieve that state of relaxation.
Absolutely. And how does mindfulness play into anxiety, into stress? How do we learn how to channel positive mindfulness, and what are the most basic steps on how we can start to become a little more mentally aware of our surroundings and ourselves?
Well, I would say we go back to yoga again. There is an intermingling of yoga and Ayurveda. And when we're talking about relieving stress, in order to do that, you kind of have to be, you have to be in the present moment. And we do that in yoga through the breath. The breath connects us to that present moment. So the more awareness that you have with the breath, the more in the present moment you are, the more relaxed you are, and you're less likely to overreact in a situation, get angry in a situation. You're much more able to stay calm and focused and make much better decisions in that moment.